And we are live for the 15th day in a row. Yes, here we are. Hello, good people of the internet. Welcome to A Better Way YouTube channel with Chetan Narang. Today is day 15 of the 20-day live challenge. Just a reminder anyone who's here for the first time, this is a 20-day live challenge I've taken up, which means I go live every single day for 20 days in a row on this YouTube channel and then syndicate it to all the different social media platforms where I am. The idea is for me to share one of the most powerful messages going on in my mind in the moment, and the challenge for the community is to share this channel, share this content, share these messages with their community so as to expand the community. So the challenge is to help me harness the power of a better way community to the maximum possible extent. The challenge is to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of these 20 days. We are 75% there, but we are nowhere close to where we want to be in terms of the reach of this content. So make sure you play your part. Having said all of that, today is the third video in the Mahabharata series that I'm running here. I said a couple of days ago that I wanted to dedicate three videos on life lessons from the Mahabharata away from Bhagavad Gita, because everyone understands that the Bhagavad Gita has a lot of life lessons, but purely the story of the Mahabharata, one of the best Hindu epics there are, is very powerful. It's very meaningful and it has a lot of depth to it. So that's what these three videos have been dedicated to. The first was about Bhishma, the second was about Guru Dron, and the third, today's video, is going to be about Karn. Now, before I get into it, another disclaimer that I have put out in every single video around Hinduism, around Hindu mythology, is that this does not apply only to Hindus. In fact, this applies to anyone who is willing and ready to receive a life lesson as powerful as what is about to come out. So, with that intention set, let's get into it. Karn was one of the most relatable characters of the Mahabharata, really. I mean, I personally relate a lot with him, and I feel that Karn was one character who was on the bad side of the war, with the bad side. But almost everyone who understands that the Pandavas were good and the Kauravas were bad, almost everyone who understands that. I know that sounds a bit naive, but bear with me. You know somewhere that the Pandavas were better than Kauravas. So, with that picture in mind, everyone who understands that Pandavas were better almost feel sort of a soft corner for Karn, who was actually associated with the Kauravas. And I think that is because Karn had probably the most suffering anyone in the entire story had. He was actually a warrior. He was actually born in a warrior class. He was supposed to be treated like a warrior, but due to his unfortunate birth, his mother had to give him away, and therefore he was brought up by someone of a lower caste. And because he belonged to a lower caste in that sense, he was never allowed to show off his warrior skills, and he was a born warrior. That's how the story unfolds. He was a born warrior. He was born to actually be a warrior, but because of the situation of the society, because of the way the society was arranged, he was of a lower caste, and therefore for him to pick up a bow and arrow and actually fight a war was almost prohibited. And therefore he suffered almost an intense cost of his gift, because he knew he had some gift within him. He knew he had a calling, he knew he had a purpose, but he never received the respect of anyone around him that for that gift. And really, what mattered to him more, what ended up mattering to him more, was this respect. He almost naively, I can say that, almost naively, he ended up disrespecting his own gift. And that's really powerful, you know. He had such a gift, he had such a purpose, such a calling to share with the world, that he could have used to share with the world and do a lot of good. But what ended up mattering to him, because of the way his life unfolded, was that he ended up respecting the respect of other people more rather than respecting his own talent, his own calling, his own gift. And that mattered a lot. You know why? Because throughout his life, he was not respected for his gift. He was treated as an exile. He was an exile of the society, by the way. He didn't fit into the architecture, into the way the society was structured. So throughout his life, he was disrespected. And therefore, the first moment anyone respected him, or at least pretended to respect him, he ended up falling for him. And that's what happened with him. That's why he was on the bad side of that infernal war. Because a guy on the bad side, the chief of the bad side, actually recognized his talent, recognized his gift, and more than anything else, that guy recognized that Karn only cares about respect. He does not care where he's using his talent. He cares more about the respect that people can give him. And so he started to pretend to respect him. Of course, he also considered him a friend eventually, but all that the bad guy was trying to do was to manipulate him to use his gifts to actually fulfill his own purpose. And Karn was so shallow. Karn ended up being so moved because of all the disrespect that he had received throughout his life, that he ended up supporting the bad guy. He ended up supporting the bad side, even when there was a better way to go about his life. And that was such a dilemma that he faced, and that's one of the key things I wanted to talk about here today. I have noted down a few points so that I don't lose my train of thoughts, that what usually happens. So, see, in some sense we can say that his life situation, his the circumstances via which he was brought up, actually made him do what he did, actually made him support the bad side. And therefore you cannot really blame him in that sense. And I respect that viewpoint, honestly. But that is exactly where the true cost of his gift lied. That is exactly where actually attaining respect, if you think about it, we all of us would have respected Karn more, respected the character of Karn more, if at the moment where Duryodhan, the bad side, was actually respecting him, he could step up and say that no, the respect that you are giving me is not what I want. I want to respect my art. I want to respect my talent. I want to respect my gift a lot more. And using my gift to actually fulfill your purpose, your evil purpose, is disrespecting my talent, is disrespecting my gift. And therefore, I need to exercise my free will right now. I need to be the bigger guy. I need to look at what is a better way of going about this situation. That is when we would have respected Karn more. And that is what he really needed, right? And that's such an irony, because the character of Karn also, in a very deep way, his calling was to help other people. Throughout the story of the Mahabharata, Karn is actually called Danveer Karn, one who gives a lot to charity, because he felt deep within him a deep calling to help other people. And I relate with that a lot, because I feel, I understand, I recognize that that's a deep calling within me as well. Now, a trope within our psyche is that if we want to help other people, the first expression we get of every expression that we get of that help, we end up considering it to be good. And that's what happened with Karn also. In his mind, in his simplistic mind, he was helping someone when he was helping the bad side, even when the infernal war. And that's where he went wrong, because his idea, his deeper calling of wanting to help other people, actually found manifestation in a worse way. There could have been a better way to go about it, and it was right in front of his own eyes. All it required was more courage, more discernment, more exercising of his own free will. And he could not do all of that. He disrespected his own gift in that sense, and he disrespected his own talent in that sense. To make those tough decisions in those moments was actually going to give him the true value of his gift. But he could not understand that. He could not really get to doing it. And that was such a shame. That was such a shame. And then probably the last point that I want to talk about Karn was all the suffering that he'd endured throughout his life. This is what Krishna tells him: dude, you suffered so much in your life, and that kept on motivating you to do a lot of things to earn respect from people. But all you could have done really was to transmute all of that suffering to actually help other people not suffer the same fates that you were suffering, but that almost didn't even cross your mind. And that's absolutely true. Karn, throughout his life, actually just kept on fighting against the society, against the established order, not so that other people don't suffer what he suffered. He only kept fighting against the society, fighting against the world, so as to receive back in return, so as to receive back respect for his gift in return. And in doing that was actually his ultimate failure. And that's also something that I relate with a lot, because Karn was an exile. Karn wasn't someone who fit into the established order of the society. And such a person, especially in our day and age today as well, such a person is really going to be the pioneer who can help us out of the troubled mess we are all in as a collective society right now. Such exiles, such people who do not fit into the realm of the established order, actually can help us establish a better order, but only if they exercise their discernment better. Because couple this archetype, the archetype of the exile, with the archetype of someone who wants to help other persons, with the archetype of someone who is disrespected throughout their life, the first manifestation that they find that resembles respect in a very small degree as well, they might feel gravitated towards that manifestation. And for all you know, that might really be a worse way, and while a better way could have existed. And in a very deep way, this is one of the key reasons why we have named our project A Better Way, because we want to have a better way on the internet for such exiles. So if you're watching this right now and this is moving you, you feel as if you relate to Karn a lot, like I do, like I know Rocco does, make sure you reach out. Check out the trailer of our channel if you still haven't. Make sure that you reach out to us and make sure that you contribute towards a better way, because this is not a project of two people. This is a project for a community, for a better community going forward. And if you're listening to this and this does not resonate with you, but somewhere deep down you feel that this guy is talking about something sensible that might relate to someone I know, share with them the trailer of our channel, share with them this particular video, share with them any other video of this channel that you think will resonate with them, and help us reach them and play your part, because that could be the part that you play in helping us steer towards a better way going forward. That's it. That's all I have for you today. It's a shame that almost no one joined live. There were a few people initially, but then they dropped off. Okay, it's a shame, but it's something that I have to live with. And yeah, that's it. Okay, see you tomorrow for day 16. Until next time, peace out.